This is Labubu.
Labubu. Labubu. Labubu.
Labubu.
Labubu.
Labubu doll.
Well, a picture of it. I couldn't get my hands on it because whenever there's a new arrival, it runs out of stock within minutes. But what exactly is it and why is it so popular? Labubu was created initially by this guy, Kazing Lung. In 2015, he made a sketchbook named The Monsters Trilogy. In it, we're introduced to a fairy tale land populated by a tribe of monster characters, including the elf Labubu and her companions, Zumomo, Tikoko, Spooky, and Pato. The characters are influenced by Nordic folklore. Their appearance, for example, have high pointed ears and a wide toothy grin with nice serrated teeth. And no, the dolls are not possessed or were made to look creepy, although it might sound exactly like it. From the name of the character itself, it is crafted to be funny and playful. And you know what? In its smile, there may lie the key to success. Initially, Kazing Lung collaborated with How to Work to produce the Monster series, which successfully garnered some attention from a small community of collectors. However, it was still just considered as a niche toy, and not until the subsequent collaboration with another designer toy company, Pop Mart, did Labubu and the Monsters truly break into the mainstream and receive massive global recognition. For those who don't know about Pop Mart, it was founded in 2010 by Wang Ning. It didn't start out with selling designer toys and artistic blind box figures, but rather it was a chain of retail stores selling various trendy lifestyle goods and light industrial products, much like a hip concept store. However, around 2015, Pop Mart noticed something significant. A small collectible art toy called Sony Angel was surprisingly become the best sellers in their stores. Soon, they figured the demand for collectible toys, especially some coming with an element of surprise, was clearly there, and lo and behold, the blind box quickly became the winning formula. Fast forward to the fateful year of 2019, combining the commercial expertise from Pop Mart and a proven concept from Kazing Lung, Labubu became the sensation that we know today. Well, not until 5 years later, in 2024, when a Korean pop star from Blackpink, Lisa, professed her undying love for Labubu.
You don't know what's inside.
And the internet soon caught the wave, and everything just instantly blew up. Look, in 2024 alone, the sales more than doubled, the profits tripled, and international sales nearly quadrupled. They are everywhere now. But the success is not just from a stroke of luck or from a simple, short-lived, high-profile celebrity endorsement. Instead, it was a formula waiting for the right ingredients. Looking into the success of Labubu and its parent company, we can see how clever marketing can turn a toy, you heard it right, a toy into a multi-billion-dollar empire, and how easily it can all go wrong. Look at the thing. Yes, it looks ugly, but not in a bad way. Actually, it is a term used by fans and the media. They call it ugly cute. Somehow, the design finds its way into the young generation's appeal. Instead of chasing perfection like conventional fashion brands where the focus is on flawless beauty and aspirational lifestyle, Gen Z and Gen Alpha are all about embracing authenticity and individuality. Labubu's vibe just hits different. It's relatable, a bit rebellious, and super expressive like Crocs or whatever this big red boots is. This aesthetics may has another effect on our brain, a phenomenon called cute aggression. You know, the feeling when you see a cute baby too cute for you to handle, you may want to like squeeze it or bite it. Labubu's design, a blend of cute, like flush fur and big eyes, and edgy, sharp teeth and mischievous grin, may trigger this kind of emotional response, making it compelling and memorable. Next up, you got to look at the market, the kidult market. a term used for adults who are 18 and over who indulge themselves in buying toys. This might stem from a sense of nostalgia or a desire to reconnect with simpler and more joyful moments from childhood, escaping from the hardship of modern toils. In the first quarter of 2024, US adults spent $1.5 billion on toys for themselves, surpassing the preschool demographic in spending for the first time in history. As a global toys industry analyst, Frederick Tutt noted, with a passion for board games, puzzles, and collections, a heavy dose of fandom and a touch of nostalgia, it seems that older kids and adults are redefining the toys market. Labubu positioned itself to be the prime beneficiary of the trend, with the numbers from Pop Marches flying all over the place. I mean, I told you before, they are everywhere, and the numbers don't lie. This is from annual reports from Pop Mart in 2024. The gross profit increased by 125.4% from $541 million in 2023 to $1.2 billion in 2024. The core of Pop Mart's strategy is IP, or intellectual property centricity, which has proven effective, with 13 IPs recorded a revenue of over $14 million. In 2024, the monsters Molly, Skull Panda, and Crybaby generated revenues of $425, $293, $183, and $163 million. The best performing is, of course, the monsters with the famous Labubu elf. More than just numbers, Labubu has built a strong and thriving community with hundreds of thousands of members following different online forums and social media pages, with videos stacking up millions of views. This in turn makes it easier for newcomers to start your own collection to feel a sense of belonging and shared values. And most likely, if your friends have already have 1 or 5 bragging about how cute they are, you maybe think about buying one for yourself too. Just maybe. As you can see, they are all out of stock now, but why is that? Is that because of the tariff, or the demand is overflowing the supply, or something else? When a necessity is in low quantity, we say it's in short supply, like medical masks in COVID-19 era or eggs in America right now. But for a product that is far from necessity, it's not like we die with our daily dose of cuteness or something. If manufactured effectively, it creates scarcity. Moreover, this is a kind of collectibles, with limited edition Labubu running out of stock faster than ever. Pop Mart can actually produce more limited edition dolls if it wants. It's not like it's much more expensive to make if you discount the complexity of IP related royalties. It's pretty much the same dolls, which is different accessories. The keyword here is scarcity, but more importantly, artificial scarcity. It means that the volume is not limited by any factor whatsoever besides strategic planning. It drives the organic demand, which in turn drives up the price. A diamond, for example, is rare, but it's not hard to find. Its scarcity throughout the 20th century was artificially induced by the Bears Company, who controlled up to 90% of the world's rough diamond production and distribution. They had the option to lock them all up and increase the price. Another example is the collector's item. If a product is rare enough naturally, it becomes an achievement to own them. Like the latest iPhone is not half as much as the original 2007 iPhone first gen mint spot condition. It's all mind game, but that's not everything in the playbook yet. Blind box. Yes, like loots from Fortnite or presents from Secret Santa. The anticipation now is at play. Say, if you're ordering lunch and everything is there on your fingertips, like food, drinks, herbal tea, you name it. The convenience is good and all, but after a while, you'd skip lunch altogether because of indecisiveness. It's analysis paralysis. Another mouthful, I know. This happens when a buyer is met with many options and they end up overthinking or over-comparing existing options, which make it incredibly difficult for them to decide which stuff to buy. So instead of giving the buyer the satisfaction of getting what they want, which can wane over time, you can just give them the satisfaction of anticipation. So if they don't get what they want, they will buy more, and if they get what they want, they will still buy more because of the euphoria from opening the package. The dolls with a more unique color or accessory combination with rarer chances of getting is, of course, more exciting to have and are pricier in resale market. The highest possibility of getting a secret edition is 1/72, which is not impossible to win, but enticing enough to keep on buying. You can see it's working, like really working. People are queuing up like crazy. Moreover, by not getting what you want all the time, you start falling into a sort of gambling mentality. Yes, it's gambling. It's actually gambling. That's why it's so addictive, like playing with claw machine. This video from Answer in Progress is very good at explaining this effect. You should definitely check it out. Okay, now you have already known what Labubu is and how it placed Wang Ning, the CEO of Pop Mart at just 38 years old, 10th on the Forbes China billionaire list, making him the youngest among the top 10 wealthiest individuals. The rapid rise of Labubu, with cult-like following, comes with consequences. In Russia, some government officials raised concerns about possible mental impact on children, with a proposal to ban the figurines because of, quote, their frightening appearance and potential harm to the psyche of children. Even in China, Pop Mart's home state, its official state-run newspaper, People's Daily, published a highly critical article targeting the company's blind box business model. This piece described the practice as a commercial trap that accurately captures the psychological weaknesses of minors. The paper even called for a stricter regulation like ban sales to minors under 8 years old. I mean, they have a point, but it's not just children are affected by this frenzy. What if we are also easily targeted to be manipulated and tricked into profiting a retail giant? It's not like we have much more self-control when it comes to dopamine-led product. We are easily fooled into scrolling social media vertically for hours on end. But let's go back to the statistic earlier. The fact that adults, for the first time in history, buy more toys for themselves has a lot to say. But there's another reason explain why this had happened. The lipstick effect. It is when in a major economic downturn, people have the tendency to buy more affordable luxury, like lipstick after 9/11 attack in 2001. Its sales upped significantly, and some economists argue that in the midst of economic turmoil like right now in 2025, Labubu is yet another way to cope with uncertainty. And just like medicine, dosage matter. Having too much of good thing is a bad thing, but having a little of bad thing is sometimes a good life-saving vaccine. Excessive consumerism, like the demand for this kind of collectibles or in the future for different psychological, physical products is absolutely a bad thing. People will only crave for more, so who would pay the price? Except themselves? From their pocket? The environment. Trends and fads exerts a heavy toll on the environment. Previous trends like fast fashion was notorious for contributing to 92 million tons of waste globally each year. Yes, in times of crisis like this, people pretend like the climate seems to magically heal itself to irrelevance, but it's not. The consequences are real and they are tolling. From its highly volatile business model to an overnight sensation, Labubu is clearly a fad. For better or for worse, it certainly did have profound impacts on global economy, at least up until this time. But historically speaking, a fad usually lasts for a year or so, with some exceptions. Labubu pacing, although slowed down, is still very remarkable, and its future is uncertain, but if managed well, it can establish a franchise. There will be undoubtedly more weird trends that emerge in the future. Some might be even more difficult for us to make sense of than Labubu, but we, as customers, please be aware of what we're buying. We might not be at fault for falling for commercial traps, but it is our responsibilities to be aware of them.